Hey y'all, my name is Jason Dames. I'm with Final Start Fitness. Today we're going to bring you a video just describing how you can develop symmetry. What I mean by symmetry is if you ever went to the gym and you see these guys or gals that kind of look a little bit awkward. They've got muscles that are bulging out of their shoulders, you know, and they got little small chests, or maybe their shoulders round in or tuck in like this, or vice versa. You see different muscle groups that just look kind of awkward. So what we want to do is just develop your body to make it look symmetrical. So everything just is popping in the right places. You ladies, guys, you know what I mean. So what we're going to do is take a few different variations of compound movements. And what we want to do is to develop symmetry, what you want is to maximally recruit muscles in its full range of motion in different angles. So we're going to be using some presses like the incline press that's going to help develop the upper part of the chest, the flat bench press, which is going to get most of the mid-range, and the decline bench, which is going to get the lower range. So we're hitting all the angles. We're also going to add in a cable butterfly. So that's going to essentially, we're going to primarily be working our chest muscles today, but we're also going to be working our arms, our lats, and that's why they call them compound movements. It's allowing you to be able to get more muscle recruitment from different muscles all within the same lift using multiple joints. So let's go ahead and get started. So for you ladies out there, this is going to help you build lean, toned muscles. For guys, it's going to help you build them massive arms, chest, things that you're going for. Either way, when you lift heavy, you utilize these sets, ladies, you're going to be able to achieve the results that you're looking for with the lean, toned muscles, and guys are going to be able to build that mass. So both ways utilizing the same sets are going to help you achieve the very results that you want. So we're going to go ahead and get started. The first set that I'm going to do is, they're called cable butterflies. Now, this could be a little bit controversial. Some people, depending on what your goals are, what you want to accomplish, if you're a lady, you may not want to start out with an isolated movement. A lot of times you'll hear people recommend that you want to start with your compound movements because you're using a lot more different muscles all at the same time, and then finish up with your isolated ones. So the reason why I want to start with the cables, like in particular me as a guy, I wanted to develop my chest a little bit more. And the butterfly is actually the best bang for your buck. You're going to be able to isolate and use the chest muscles in its full range of motion. So it makes perfect sense. Why not start out with this movement when you have the most energy, so you can recruit the most muscle fibers inside on the chest muscle. So to be able to go through its full range of motion, the chest fibers, they lengthen this way and they shorten this way. So the only way to really get it in its maximally lengthened position is all the way out this way, and its shortest position is right here. So that's why we're going to go ahead and start here on the cable butterflies. You can do dumbbell flies too, but I prefer this isolates a little bit more. We're going to start here, and then we're going to work our way towards the other one. So I'm going to go ahead and sit on here. I'm going to point out a few key pointers. Now, let me go ahead and get this off. Now the idea when you're doing these butterflies, we want to eliminate extraneous movement. If you've ever seen any of my other videos, you know that we want to really maximally contract each muscle. We don't want any type of momentum when we're doing the lift. We don't want to just swinging it back and forth. We don't want to use other muscles. So the way to do this, maximally recruit your chest, is to go all the way out. So it's just this movement from here to here. A lot of times people end up using a lot more elbow flexion, so they're actually getting more bicep activation. So by keeping the arms a little bit straight, we want the shoulders to drive straight back against the pad. We want to keep them there, and you just want to squeeze all the way to where you got your straps that are crossed in front of you. So this is going to be this fully shortened position. This will be the fully lengthened position. So if you watch, I'm going to be all the way spread out. Now you can have a little bit bend in your elbows, but mainly we want that to be nice and straight. We want to keep them shoulders back, Neutral spine position, look straight ahead, and you want to cross it straight over in front of you. And you want to squeeze really hard at the top of the range of the motion and stop, and then bring it back about 2 to 3 seconds on the way back, and then explode back up there, hold it, right back down, 1, 2, 3, and right back. So depending on the weight and the reps, what you're trying to accomplish that day, whether you're lifting heavy or you're doing a higher rep range, the weight's gonna be able to dictate the speed at which you're actually doing that set. So if you're doing, let's say your goal is to do 15, you're gonna set the weight, 15 reps, you're gonna set the weight at around the range that you're gonna fail right around 14 or 15. So when you get to the 15, it's gonna be super hard. If you're only doing 8 reps, same thing, when you get to about 7, it's gonna be hard to do that next rep. That's how you dictate what type of weight you're doing. So that's the dumbbell or the cable flies. That's gonna really isolate the pectoral muscle. It's really gonna recruit the majority of the whole muscle. So this next set that we're gonna be doing is the incline press. Now you could do a dumbbell press or a barbell press, however you'd like. The different variations stimulate your muscles in 2 different ways, so it's actually good to do both of them. So one real quick thing before we get started is I wanted just to let you know, you notice that we have just a slight angle on the bench press here. You want about 15 to 20 degrees somewhere in that range of an angle. If you get more than that, basically what's going to happen is you're going to activate more of your front deltoid, which is this muscle that runs right in front here. And so we just want to be mindful of what muscle that we're working, so that way we can actually recruit the muscle fibers that we're wanting to work, which is the upper portion of the chest. So with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and sit down here. You want to pick a weight that you have control and stability. If you don't have control in the movement, you're not going to be able to put much force through the muscle, and really you're just going to be you're going to end up hurting your joints, because most of that load is going to go to the joints and the shoulder joints and the elbow joints. So just remember, pick a weight, lower your pride, do a weight that you can actually control so we can actually recruit the muscles. Now I'm going to grab these here. One of the quick things that I want to point out just really quick is that when you're doing a press, what you don't want elbow flexion here. So when you're moving the weight, we don't want the weight to come in, which is what I see most of the time happen, and we don't want it to come out. You want to keep your arm at a 90-degree angle, and at the incline bench press, you want the angle to come down right at the top of the chest. So it goes straight up. So it should look like this, not out here. We don't want it to come down this way, and we don't want it to come in. We want the dumbbells to stay at 90 degree, and just slightly bringing your elbow towards your waistline. That way it gives a little bit of breathing room for your shoulders, and that way you don't injure it down the road. So I'm going to go ahead and grab these. What you're going to do is start at the top here. You want them to touch. And remember, we want control. So the weight should dictate the speed. If it's heavier weight, it's going to be a little bit slower. If it's lighter weight, you might be able to go a little bit faster. Now you might do isometric reps, but I won't really get into that. But the idea is, typically you're going to have about 2 to 3 seconds on the eccentric part of the rep, which is right here. You want to stop right above your chest, completely contract the muscles, and then initiate the movement all the way up. So squeeze to the top, just like this. Touch them together, and squeeze at the top. So that's the incline bench press. Now, we're doing different variations to hit all the different fibers of the chest. I told you we're doing the upper fibers. The cable butterflies did the whole midsection of the chest. Now, if you were wanting to get that lower, fill out the lower portion of the chest, you would actually move this bench press down and actually lays back flat this way. Again, you don't need much of a huge angle. The same way, about 10, 15, 20 degrees down. You don't need to get massively amount of angle on the way down, but the principle is the same. The only difference is the angle at which the angle at which you move the weight. So when you're sitting up, the angle is coming up straight up at the top. When you're laying down, it's going to go more outward. So I'll demonstrate what I mean. So we start the same position right up top here. So now we're going to go straight out to the front portion of our chest. All the other principles are the same. And again, you just choose the weight based off of how many reps that you're trying to accomplish, whether you're going really heavy or lighter weights and you're doing more reps. So that is the decline, the incline, the butterflies, and you could add in the flat bench. If you actually did that as an interval and you made that like you do that interval about 6 times, you're gonna be toast. You can also throw in some box jumps in between, some jump ropes, something like that to make it really high intensity. That way it'll get your heart rate up and you get them fat burning hormones up all throughout the day. You wanna make sure that you get as much variation as you can. You can do all kinds of different things, whether it's resistance bands, that's called accommodating resistance. That will help you have tension throughout the set through the full range of motion. You can do drop sets, you can do force negatives, you can do blood flow restriction training. There's all kinds of different ways to make it different and exciting and fun, as well as it's gonna keep your muscles from adapting to the same stimulus every time, and that way your muscles continually to grow. That's what we want for fat burning and weight loss, as well as, you know, overall symmetry is like we talked about. So my prayer is that these videos help you out. If you like these videos and they're beneficial to you, please share them, like us on Facebook. We even have a YouTube channel. This is gonna be your final start. We want you to enjoy life. We want you to enjoy it to the fullest. You don't have to lack confidence where you don't have energy and you just feel exhausted all the time. You just don't feel confident about yourself. That can be the thing of the past. You can enjoy this and make this your final start this year. I challenge you to do that. Just little bitty habits over time, applying some of these principles on these videos that we're putting out, and you give this a year from now, start to change your life. You're gonna be a totally different person. You're gonna have energy. You're gonna go out and be able to play with your kids whenever you want to without feeling weird. You're gonna get your confidence back. These are all the great things that, you know, living a healthy life has to offer. And I challenge you, let's make this your final start. My name is Jason Dames. We love you guys. Hope you enjoyed this video and God bless you.